Namaste. Good morning. Today I'll be doing a short class for you that we'll be doing on a chair, and I'll show you how to do different variations of different poses. The poses that we're going to do today is going to be working on your hip area and your lower back, because as you can see, when we're in a sitting, all our muscles on the front side of our body becomes really tight, and that does not only affect the front side of your body, it also affects your lower back, your muscles over your butt, over your buttocks, and especially a little muscle that we have on the back side of our butt that is called the piriformis. It's a very small muscle, and it's very difficult to stretch, and it's very difficult to actually work with because it is so small. But it's got a really big effect on us, because if you have a really tight piriformis, it's going to be pushing on a nerve that runs from your lower back all the way down over your buttock side and into your leg. And that is what you will feel as a pain in your sciatica. So that's why you say, when, oh my God, I've got a sciatica pain. It's also something that you can have some problems with if you are a runner, because you move your legs very how do you say, powerful forward and backwards. So the front side of your body is very strong and the back side of your body is very strong. The problem is that if you look at our upper thigh muscle or upper thigh, the bone in here is actually a joint that moves in circles. So if you imagine that this is your hip and this is your bone, your thigh bone, then you understand that the bone will move like this into your hip, but we only move it forwards and backwards. So that means that we don't use the entire radius of our movement. And our body is made like our body is made, so that you have to use it the way that it's supposed to be used. So now we're going to do a little session for our hips. First of all, you find a chair. It doesn't matter what kind of chair you found. I found a very nice one from my husband, an English one here. And it's easy to place. It's very important that you place the chair and first have the check of, is it stable on my mat? Can I lean on it without that it's kind of screeching away from me, because then you feel safer on it. And then you sit down. The first part we're going to use is going to be working on the fascia, on the joint in our hips. And we're going to do it with a very small movement. I'm just going to show it from two angles so you know what we're going to do. And on an in-breath, first of all, you make sure that you feel both your sitting bones on your chair. Again, do like I did yesterday. Pull your flesh a little bit away from your sitting bone so that you feel the entire top there, instead of moving on the back of it. And on an in-breath, you push one of your heels away and you activate your entire muscle span in your leg, and you feel everything is active. And on an out-breath, you pull your knee towards your chest. If you can't grab on top of your knee, you can grab under your knee. So on an in-breath, push away, and on an out-breath, push in. And then concentrate on the feeling in your front of your leg, in your hip. Yes, perfect. And then of course you do it on the other side. On an in-breath, push away, and on an out-breath, pull towards you. You will feel the difference between your legs, the difference between your sides. We always have one chocolate side and one celery side. The chocolate side is the side where everything is moving really well, and the celery side is the side where everything's a little bit harder to move. I'm just going to show you how it looks from the side so that you can see the difference. I'm going to do exactly the same. First, I'm just going to sit down. Then I'm going to pull the flesh from my butt a little bit away so that I have a nice feel of both my sitting bones. On an in-breath, I make sure that I don't hang back. I have a strong core. My stomach is active. My tailbone moves slightly under. And then on an in-breath, I push away. Out-breath into your chest. And make sure, if you're not sure how many you can do on each side, I would say between 6 and 8. But if you're not sure, you can make one at a time. First your right leg, and then your left leg. And then you just make sure that you make the equal amount on both sides. That is going to move this entire area. Another thing that you can do to move is actually a twist. And then you sit like this on your chair. Again, your tailbone moves under so that your stomach is active, your chest moves upwards. Let your hands be on each side of your chair. On an in-breath, you make your entire side here long. Have this feeling that you have some kind of magnet in your butt and that your arm is moving away from that. And on an out-breath, you take the other arm, in this case my left arm goes towards my right knee, and then I twist behind me as if I'm looking for something there. Here you can stay here, or if that's difficult for you, you can hold on to your chair, and then you can even go deeper. Then you get the twist of the upper body. Make sure that your shoulders do not go upwards, but push towards the floor. Your eyes go away from you, because then you can see that the movement of your spine that begins at your tailbone, and you can feel that the movement moves all the way up and you end it here. I'm just going to show you at the other side as well. First of all, sit down, tailbone under. Your stomach is active, in breath, left arm high up, and on an out breath, you start moving your right hand towards your left knee, and then you move backwards. Make sure that your shoulder blades moves towards the floor, and then again you can grab hold here so that you can go in a little bit deeper. When you go out of this movement, make sure that you really do it slowly and engage all your muscles in your core and your chest so that you have the support, because if you do this and you're not supported, you risk really ripping something in your lower back, especially if you have back problems. Don't think that you have to go all the way through. It can also just be here, or it can just be here. It doesn't have to be that complicated. One thing you have to remember is yoga does not hurt. So if you feel, oh my God, this doesn't feel very good, then do not go there. You don't have to. Another thing I'm going to show you now is an exercise or an asana that's called thread the needle. When you're on the floor, you lie on the floor, then you put one foot down, and then you put one foot on, and then you grab through your legs. It can be quite difficult to get on the floor, so first I'm going to show you how you can do it here. Here, first of all, you can just take your foot and put it on your knee. Make sure that the foot that's on your knee is always active, because it's going to have an effect on your knee, and if your foot is not active, it can make a damage to your knee. So active foot always here. On an in-breath, you pull your chest up, your stomach is active, again your tailbone is shoved under, and then you lean forward. Doesn't have to be more than this. Then you feel the stretch on the outside of your leg, and you feel how everything is affected in your hip as well. You can go as far forward as you want to, and you can also, if needed, you can take a pillow or something to lean on so that you really get the stretch. I'm just going to show you how you can do this on the floor as well. Just going to put my chair away. On the floor, it will look like this. Come into a position on the floor, both feet in the ground, and then you lift one foot and put it on your knee, and then you remember again, my foot is active. And then you grab through. The other foot you can have loose, you can let it flop. And then you pull your knee towards your chest. Here you have a good thing in you actually can feel how your shoulder blades are moving on the floor. So here you can also stay. This is going to give you a stretch over your backside, and you can go as far as you want. If you want to go make it even deeper, you can let your hands fold over your knee, and then you can put even closer. I prefer this option under your knee, because then I can, with my elbow, push towards the bent knee,
And then I get a deeper stretch in my hip area, and I like that. Again, when you come out of the pose, be careful. Here I make what I call happy dog. Imagine that you're one of those little dogs that when it's happy and the tail wags, the entire dog goes. This small movement over your back is going to be activating everything. So it actually is just like a very, very mild massage over your lower back. If it isn't enough, you can also kind of push your butt up and up like this so that your lower back falls into the floor. Like this, so that's also, it's very, very mild and you don't get any pain from it. So you have these options with the chair. Now I'm going to show you how to do a sun salutation with your chair. Because we have this idea of yoga, or I had this idea of yoga, that if I'm doing yoga, I have to be able to do a sun salutation. And I couldn't because I had a really bad low back. I'm going to do the sun salutation on the highest level that I have on the chair. The highest level is here. Again, I make sure that the chair is stable, that it's not going to screech away from me when I lean on it. You can stand as close or as far away from your chair as you want to. And then you make sure that your feet are grounded. Have this feeling that your feet moves away from each other. You have a small rotation on your thighs. Your tailbone moves in, chest upwards. On an in-breath, you go into Anjali Mudra on your chest. On an in-breath, you make a small back bend. And on the out-breath, you bend your knees, and instead of coming into a chair, you hold on to your chair, and then you lean forward. And then here you can actually make sure that you feel good. I can go a little bit further down. Does this feel good? Yes, it does. If it feels good, I can turn my chair. And then I grab on the sides of the chair so that I have a good grip. And then I bend my knees as far as it goes, so as far as I can, so that I feel good. My stomach touches my legs. And then I let my head free. On an inhalation now, I stretch my legs. And now I lean forward, and that's why that you have to make sure that the chair is safe. Here, I stand on the tips of my toes, and then I move forward into a kind of a plank, and then I look upwards. And on an out breath, I go back again. My heels go into the floor, and then again I lean. If I now feel, okay, now I feel safe to go down on the floor, I can, but I can also opt to stay here. And then I stay here for an in-breath and an out-breath. On the out-breath, I engage my entire muscles here in my legs, in my lower back, in my stomach. And on the next in-breath, everything is very, very powerful, and I go all the way up again into mountain pose. On an out-breath, my hand goes into Anjali Mudra. And then I like to do like this. My hands go forward on an in-breath. And then I push my chest forward. As you can see from the side, normally I would stand like this, but when I do the chest forward push, my entire chest area opens. And on the out breath, I stay here in my strength, and I let my hands together and on my chest. I'm just going to show you one more time, and I'm just going to say with the how the breaths are going to flow. First of all, feet in the floor. In breath. Out breath. In breath. Out breath. Bend your knees and come forward. Stay here. In and out. In breath. Stay here. Out. In. Out breath. Stay here, in and out. Core. In breath. Out breath. In breath. And out breath. This is a small sun salutation that you can make actually with a chair.
Now I'm going to show you what my celery asana is, what the worst part of my asana is. I'm going to do it with the chair because that actually means that I am able to do it without feeling any pain and I feel supported. As I told you yesterday, I've got a lot of problems with my thighs, with my hip area. And it means that I've really got difficulty coming down, stretching this part of my body. But on a chair, it's not that bad. Sit on a chair, and then you turn one side towards the back of your chair. And then you get up, and the leg that is on the outside of your chair, you move that behind you. And then you kind of move into your perfect pose. Here you can stay. You can lean on your chair. You can, here your foot that's behind you, you have on your tips of your toes, and your heel moves backwards. Here you make sure that you don't do like this, that your hip is not moving away from you. You stand in a square hip. Your tailbone moves under, and then you bend into your front knee. And when you do that, you feel the stretch on this side of your leg. If you want to have it a little bit more, how do you say that, powerful, you can take your arm back so that you open your entire side. And then you imagine that one foot, the energy in your foot is moving away from you, and the energy in your hand is moving away from you, so that you get a really, really strong stretch. If that isn't enough, you can let both hands up. As you can see, my leg is on the chair, and I feel really safe here. In breath, stay. Out breath, both hands back. And then feet to the floor, butt to the chair. And then you come back into the middle. Then just stay here and feel the difference. And then you do it to the other side. Side to the chair, to the back of your chair. And then the other leg behind you. On your toes. And then you find your movement here. Tailbone under, active, in-breath, up high, or both arms. Make sure that you really feel the energy from moving away from your hands. Your chest is opening, shoulders are moving towards your butt. Your hip is square, so you really feel it. And out breath, hold, back onto the chair. When you do this, you activate your entire hip area, you stretch your entire hip area, and because you stretch your hip area, the muscles on the back side of your body will also get a little bit more space to move. It's very important that you can move your hip area. It is where your entire your power is. So if you have a healthy hip area, you have a healthy body. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope that you've enjoyed it. If you've got any more ideas as to what kind of exercises or asanas that you would like me to show you, then please comment. I'm looking forward to working with you.